Hey, Dr. Keith,
Hey, Ricky, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's time for Love Your Bones, our first episode for 2023. Here we go.
We're ready.
Here we go. So today we are going to do a bone health risk calculator with our friend, Sydney. So I invited Sydney. She's one of my besties. I said, you have to come on the show and do this with us. So she's going to be our victim of today.
Yay.
All right. So why don't we start?
Our victim.
That sounds kind of scary, Ricky.
That's it. Well, she's starting out the new year, and
Yes.
all the other folks will follow. So she's leading us into the new year for healthy bones.
She is.
There you go.
Go
She
ahead.
is. She's ready. She's
So she's ready.
She's my paddleboarding buddy, and she's very
Yes.
strong. She's my dance partner on the dance floor. We dance together. She's my girl. So I figured,
So you line dance. So we got to get our line dance.
Line dance. We do all kinds of dance. If
Yeah,
you're
we do
around
that.
Ricky, you dance.
Because
dance.
I'm a two-step salsa because I'm originally from Texas, from San Antonio.
Okay. I do hand dance now.
You do hand dance.
I do. And I took tango lessons with Ricky, actually.
Yeah,
See,
we
I'm
could
having to come down.
All right.
Ballroom
Yeah.
dance.
That's
Yeah.
how you move those bones.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's and that's why we gotta love our bones, especially Black folks, because we break a hip. So
So Sydney has a really active life. She's a TV producer for DC TV. She's all over the place, talking to people, filming people. And so she really, really needs to stay healthy. And so I figured she'd be a perfect victim or candidate for our test today. But why don't you give us some background, Dr. Keith, on what we have to do this year?
I like that. I like leader though.
Okay, leader's great.
It's a prostate cancer leader for 2023. So what do we know? First thing, when we start talking about bones, there's a problem. People don't recognize that Black women can suffer from osteoporosis, and that's one. Then the question is, well, what is osteoporosis? And we know that it is a condition in which the bones become weak and are very likely that they may break. Now, what's interesting is that from the population, we focus on women, but the majority of focus is on either women of European ancestry, but not a lot of focus with Black women.
Yeah.
And also not a lot of focus with men either. And a high percentage of men, not as much as women, can also have osteoporosis. Now, we also know that more than 1.5 million fractures occur yearly. So look at what we're talking about. We don't talk about it in Black women.
Right, we don't.
Black women are out there. Everybody's out. All these women are out working. And we were inside because of COVID. Now, if you compare to white women, Black women are less likely to develop osteoporosis, but that doesn't mean that Black women don't develop osteoporosis. And then postmenopausal women with osteoporosis experience, and that's a question, is if the experience is less or worse than white women. And when I was a kid and when we went to medical school, I said, everybody else sneezes, we catch a cold.
Right. Everybody else catches a cold, we catch pneumonia.
Right.
That's right.
And then die.
And then die, right.
And so, but listen to what you said now, the experience is worse for Black women.
Yeah.
And if they develop osteoporosis, is at a later stage, and they may have hip or other fractures. And then there are a lot of diseases, whether it's lupus or autoimmune diseases, that play a role, right? And sickle cell disease.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to go over, so this is something about the diet of Black America. A lot of people don't recognize that the high percentage of Black folks are lactose intolerant.
Right. Yeah, we know that.
I'm not talking about 30% or 40%. I'm talking about 75%.
75, 80%, right?
That's a lot. And if you're lactose intolerant, that means you're not digesting a lot of the important things that you need: vitamin D, and calcium.
Calcium.
So those are kind of things that I wanted to highlight. And I had some things that I wanted to talk about, but we're going to talk about the questions I ask afterwards. So I'll let our special guest.
Can I ask questions? Is that, or do I wait?
Yes.
for you?
Oh, you're allowed. You're allowed because we have given Sydney no warning.
I have
She has
no idea.
We have no idea. She has no idea what we're going to do to her today. So she's totally like our innocent
Guinea
candidate,
pig.
as my friend. And so this is all new to her. So she's kind of looking at it how you guys would look at it.
Right.
And this is all on the American Bone Health website. So if you can go to American and find this information, but we're going to take you through it. But I think that, I noticed it most because, so I bought my stepdad, who's 92, a beautiful sweater for Christmas.
Mhm.
And in his heyday, he was 6'5", and I don't know how much he weighed, but he's a big guy. He was my major general. He's a general in the army, retired. And I bought him the same size sweater. It was down to his knees. He's like, "Rick, the sweater's too big. You got to take it back." But he's shrinking, and I know my mother's shrinking. So that shrink factor,
It's real.
It's real.
Shrinkage is
osteoporosis.
real.
So we don't want to admit it, but we can see it in our parents.
And
And
just,
in ourselves.
just to
And-
highlight that, Black Americans are less likely to be screened for osteoporosis.
Yeah. He's never been screened. Yeah. Because I asked him that day, like,
Mm.
have you ever had a DEXA scan? He had no idea what it was. And neither had my mother. So
And then when they detect it, we're not treated. And then we have these chronic conditions.
right. And they fall.
Yeah.
And
I have an 84-year-old mom, and the theme every day is don't fall, just don't fall. Because I feel like, I'm at that age that all my friends, our parents are starting to, pass
fall.
away. And a lot of them have passed away after they've fallen. They've fallen and then,
Yeah.
a couple of months
Yeah.
later they die.
Yeah.
because
Didn't
in that whole issue about falling, especially in the elderly population, they're in pain. So they're not moving, they're not mobile. And then because they're in pain, they don't breathe expand their lungs. And if they don't expand their lungs, they develop a pneumonia. And then they develop a pneumonia. And it's like, it just continues on.
Yeah. I know. Well, the fall took my mother down. She'll be 90 in
Yeah.
April, but her fall 6 years ago is what took her down.
Took
All
her
right, so
down,
you
but didn't
did-
take her out because
No,
she's
didn't.
she's more active than all three of us put together.
Yes, that is true. She's a crazy.
I'm trying to keep
All
up.
right. All right. So you ready for this, honey? So
I'm ready.
this is our 10-year fracture risk calculator. So we're going to
Uh-oh.
be able to
Look, I
project.
am 57, so I do have to put my glasses on here.
Okay, yeah, put the glasses on.
Yeah,
Okay.
folks, now you ain't 57.
All right, so that's the first question. How old are you? Okay, I'm going to put
I'm
that in
57.
57. Yay. All right.
So that's the new 35. Is that what you're trying
Exactly. And my birthday is 4/20, and I take presents.
to well, see, that's 4/20. Okay.
Yeah.
April
And you're a
20th.
woman
Yes.
and you are
Black.
Black.
Yep.
Right. So this is pretty simple, everybody so far. And how tall are you?
Okay. I used to be 5'5", but now I'm like 5'4.5". So already I feel like I've shrunk.
Okay, I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna just put in 5'5". Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll give you your little half-inch back. And you can
150.
lie.
Oh, no, I'm not going to lie. Today I weighed and I am 153.
153. I weigh
Yeah.
157. Okay. No, I weigh 147, I think. Okay, next. Have you ever had a bone density test? Do you know, have you had a BMX and have had a
No.
bone mass? No. Okay, no is the answer. Are you taking a prescription medicine for osteoporosis?
No.
No. Do you smoke?
No.
No. So people who do smoke, there's like something going on here, right? Do you drink
Uh-oh.
2 drinks a day?
A day? No.
Okay. Have you ever taken prednisone or steroid pills for 3 months or longer?
No, not 3 months. No.
Okay. No,
I've taken it, but it hasn't been that long.
that long. Okay. Do you have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis?
In my knee, I think I'm starting to have it. Yeah.
You think you're starting
What?
to have?
Well,
No,
I don't know if it's rheumatoid. What's
it's
the difference between?
Osteoarthritis is probably what you have. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease.
Uh-huh.
So, but but with time, a lot of wear. You did a lot of running?
Tennis. She's a tennis player.
Tennis, yeah, I bike tennis.
Like,
Okay, so you're more than likely to have, start to develop early signs of osteoporosis. So
okay,
Okay,
it's
stay now.
degeneration of the bone.
right,
Rheumatoid arthritis is a kind of an autoimmune related phenomenon, even though,
okay. Is it hereditary? Because I think my grandmother had it, and my mom is starting to get something in her hands.
well, yeah, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Diabetes?
No,
Nope. Okay, check all that apply. No cancer, thank God.
Nope.
Hormone deficiencies?
nope, nope,
Malnutrition? Nope. Thyroid
Nope.
medication? I had to check on that one. Liver disease, organ transplant? Nope.
No.
So I had 2 there. Okay. Has your mother or father had a hip fracture?
hip replacement, but not a fracture.
Does that count, Dr. Keith?
Well, they had a hip replacement because of degenerative disease. So the
Yes.
fracture, but alerting to one thing is this: every time you have a surgical procedure, especially in the area, that bone can become weakened. So they had, again, if they had surgery and had a hip replacement, then we have to make sure that they're having, especially those folks need to have healthy bones too. So it doesn't loosen up or they don't have problems with the other side. I mean, they only had one, right? One hip.
Yes, yes.
So is that a yes or a no?
The answer is we need to protect them and make sure they have healthy bones. Yes.
I know, but it's a yes or a no, dude. Pick
Oh,
one.
no.
No, okay. Okay. But we need to watch out for that for her mama. Okay. Have you broken bones with little impact? Like you didn't know you broke it, or such as a trip or a fall? This happens to so many breasties. They break a bone and they find out they have bone mets, but they didn't even know they broke a bone.
Oh, really? Since age 45, no.
Okay.
Since what do you mean since age 45?
When I was 10, I tore my cartilage in my right knee and had it taken out, and I have had maybe 10 surgeries. So that's where my arthritis is, because I have bone on bone in my knee,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
which is
Have
why
you
I'm
ever
probably going to
had-
have to play pickleball soon instead of tennis.
Pickle.
Pickleball. I know it's a rage around my neighborhood. I don't know how to play it. But, have you ever had a spine fracture? No.
No, but I have scoliosis.
Does that count, Dr. Keith?
So,
The issue is no.
Okay. All right. So then we're gonna put this to my email so I get the results and I can play it back up for you. I
okay.
can pull it up here, okay? And hopefully let me do that because I've already done it for myself.
Now, while you're waiting for it to I can go over some more important facts for Black folks. So
Can I ask you just
Yeah.
one question? You mentioned now I have to remember what my question was. It was around my knee, but you were talking about oh, I know what it was. So during COVID, have you seen more people, like I feel like I was sitting on a couch, 24/7
Right.
with, kind of on my computer scrunched over. And now I find myself walking around like this all the time, and I have to physically say, oh yeah, I'm not on the couch. I have to
but see, Ricky, what did I say earlier?
Yep, yep.
You're talking about there's a device that love your bones. We may just have to make it
Oh.
for everybody that pulls you back
Mhm.
because we're like this. And matter of
Yeah.
fact, we were all hunched over for 2 years.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was too on the couch.
So now we have to, even when we walk, we're walking like this versus walking with our shoulders back. And so the idea is that we'll get a brace that pulls our shoulders back so we can retrain our musculature. And I do agree that we need to do that.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah.
So
And I feel like, especially getting older, when other things are weighing you down more this way,
Yeah.
it's really hard to keep
And
your back straight.
and it would be helpful because, like, say for example, when you're in your office, you can strap it on and it pulls back. And when you
Cool.
walk, because even say for example, you walk, and when you walk, look at how you walk. Do you walk leaning forward or do you walk chest out,
Mm.
up, up high? And a lot of people, we're like,
Yeah.
versus that. Yeah. So yeah. And what's interesting that you say that, it is your posture is very important also when it comes to bone. So that's also very important.
All right, you ready for the reveal?
Oh no. Okay. They can reveal something just by that.
Yeah.
Better watch out for that AI.
Check
Hi,
it.
Sydney. Flowers? It was a lot of red. What does that mean?
That's what I saw too on mine. I freaked out, but see, it's the line.
Oh, okay.
So it's the line, right? So here I'm going to scroll down. You can see
Oh, my risk. Okay.
so your 10-year risk of any fracture is only 3%. So you're really healthy, Sid. The average risk
Yeah.
of any fracture is 3%. Your 10-year risk of hip fracture is less than 1%.
Well, thank God, because I'm going to be getting my knee operated on every 2 years. So I need my hips to be straight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a question though, too. So with my knee, I'm finding that I overcompensate. And so my left hip has been hurting a lot this year. And that's the other thing is I'm like trying to stand up straight and figure out how to stand so that I'm not putting so much pressure on that hip because my right knee is like buckling in.
So when you go to your orthopod, there's called you might get a brace to kind of retrain. So what you're going to have to do is, and this is, so when do you plan to have your knee replacement and knee procedure? Is this going to be sometime, or
It's
is it
probably going to have to be this year.
this year? So the question is, when you speak with your orthopod, ask him if I think it's Lovejoy brace, or there's a brace that you can use that helps realign your muscles. And that's going to be important to retrain your musculature, not only in your knee, but on your hip, because so what knee is it?
My right knee, the one I broke tore the cartilage in.
So your right knee, you have a problem, and your left hip, you have a problem. Okay. And that's because you're compensating. And so that's going to be very important. So it's also, that's going to be very important for you to talk with your orthopod, the orthopedic surgeon who's going to be doing your procedure. Talk to him about exactly what's going on, and whether or not before you have that procedure, you wear a brace, help straighten, realign that knee, which puts your hip back in alignment. And then now you're retraining your muscles. Some of them have a tendency to give you the put you on a brace and then have the procedure.
But there's a lot of confusion around that because so many Black people I know, especially athletes or people who are active, have knee and hip problems. So that's arthritis or osteoporosis or osteoarthritis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where people get confused because they think they may have arthritis and they could have osteoporosis and be taking meds for it.
So, but that is the importance of talking to the orthopod or rheumatologist. So there's two people to talk to. So the rheumatologist will go in and do studies to see whether or not you have an immunology component. Since everybody now knows, because of COVID, it's like immune response and antibodies. There's an immune component to rheumatoid arthritis, which is autoimmune disease related, versus you just getting old. So Black folks, if you're talking about lupus, that may be one other thing, but if you're talking about it, a high percentage of it gets osteoporosis, and these are areas that we don't know. The only thing we know is what our grandparents used to say. You got some aches in my bone, baby. Can you hand me some of that stuff over there? I said, what's in this, grandma? Don't worry about it.
Don't you worry about that.
Don't you worry about it. None of your business.
None of your business. Just hand that over here.
Just hand it over here. Now get out of here. So, but again, that's why what I feel that, I mean, we need to educate, we educate Black America to decrease the disparity, but we provide information for all Americans.
Yeah.
Because this bone health is important, because there are a lot of people that just don't know about it.
I don't know about it.
Yeah.
And we don't know about it. And then when we come down with the fracture, I mean, we suffer the most. I mean,
Yeah, we suffer. Well, we die. I mean, the fracture number of Black women are crazy about not only dying, but also losing your ability to take care of yourself, you know, debilitating yourself. And like, you know, the risk numbers for death are insane.
Right. So another question. So my 84-year-old mom, Ricky's met her. She's very lively. You would not know she was 84, but
Right.
she still lives in the house that I grew up in. You know, I was there over Christmas, and you know, she's going up, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 flights of steps every day, and she uses every inch of that house. And you know, my worry is always she's going to fall. She's going to fall. But her doctor said the reason she is in such good shape is because she's running up and down those steps every day.
So the question I have for you is this: do we know, has she had a bone scan, and do we have a T-score?
Nope, I know she hasn't had a bone scan.
Yeah, so that's we got to find out. And now you raise a very important point. Even though she's going up and down these stairs, we have to make sure that her space is protected. So do you have carpet or slippery floor, or is just wood?
There's carpet.
So the question is, now she's on carpet, does he have an increased chance of tripping? So we have to fall proof the house. And that's going to be important. I mean, Ricky, what happened with your mom?
Yeah, my mom fell. I mean, she just fell and she literally broke her arm out of the socket, you know, and, had like whatever, 30 pins in her socket.
Yeah, my aunt fell just, you know, a couple of months ago. You know, her shoe got caught on the step. Yeah, luckily, she didn't break anything. Thank God.
So you know what? My numbers are actually worse than yours, Sid. I'm going to pull up my scan.
How does that?
Well, first of all, I'm older. Hello.
I like everybody. She always talk that.
Nobody. Yeah. When I tell people Ricky's age, they're like, "No, she's not. You're lying."
I'm older, but look, see, mine is 16%.
Right.
My average risk of fracture is 5. And I have a 10-year risk of, so my hip fracture is less. But you know what it is? Probably because I do have Graves' disease, you know, from my thigh, from too much chemo.
I didn't know you had Graves.
Yeah, it's from too much chemo. I lost my voice here. It's from too much. I took a lot of chemo, and so I take thyroid medication, and I think that's what may be affecting my number here. I lost the screen.
So when that says like, so you're 16% and I was what, 1 or 3? I was 1 or 3%.
Yeah, you were 3%, and I
does
was
that
15.
Does that mean, you know, if you were to fall or I were to fall, you know, I'm less likely to break a bone than you are by you know, 15%?
I mean, it would imply. Remember, every person is different, but if we generalize, that means that your bones are stronger, perceived to be stronger, and of less risk of fracture than Ricky's, because remember, we're talking about diseases. So cancer space, the chemotherapy, because the cancer itself can weaken the bones. The treatment to the cancer can weaken the bones. So now Ricky has these assaults to the bone, and then you always bring in that Ricky is let's say 10 years older than you are. So now we're talking about, for every decade, the average woman can lose maybe 25% of the bone. So there's all these factors that come in.
But that's why this assessment is so good, because you can really see, you know, and I think even though we are, you know, Sid's only 3 and I'm 16, it makes me think I should go to the doctor and just make sure I get a bone scan, right? I'm more likely to get a bone scan, and I've had some because of cancer, obviously. But I probably should get them more frequently and ask for them more frequently, because We know doctors are not giving them to Black women. Hello.
Right.
Mm.
We know. And so there was something that I wanted to say. Oh, I wanted to say, just to kind of, we want to repeat it. High risk of death. So once Black women have fractures, that they're 24% higher risk for death. 19% higher risk for long-term nursing home stay. So that flag that, because that's why we have to keep your mom.
My mom, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
healthy. And that means if she's going up 3 flights of stairs,
Mhm.
are we talking about, is the carpet tight? Is
Right.
it that if she, falls, do you maybe have pillows down in the landing area or something that's going to, or the issue is if you got 3 flights of stairs, you might have to get one of the little elevators that go straight up.
Mhm.
She just gets off.
Those chair, my mother had those chair seats when she had stairs in her house,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I actually did check that there's only one that has a carpet and it's a runner.
Right.
And it's pretty tight. Yeah, it's very tight.
Mhm.
And then now when we look in her house, if we look in all these areas, because she has the rail that she can hold on going up the steps. So I'm comfortable with that. Then what do you have in the living areas? Does she have an ottoman? Does she have tables? Does she have a throw rug that she can trip over?
No,
Or
she's taken up all her rugs just for allergies, but so she just has on the first floor, big oriental rugs, but nothing small.
nothing small. So nice clear walk spaces. Okay. Okay. So
No, I know.
She was an occupational therapist, so she
She kind of gets
but
it.
I like the pillows at the bottom or something soft at the bottom of the step.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, the other thing about the falling is, when my mother and my stepdad have fallen, which has been quite a bit recently, they can't get up.
Yeah.
And my stepdad, he's a big guy, even though he's shrunk, he's still a big guy. We had to call 911 to get him up the last time he fell, because none of us could pick him up. Me, the caregiver, and my mother was, couldn't do it at all. But they can't get up.
Yeah. I just pushed him in a wheelchair the other day. He's yeah.
Yeah, you push grandpa.
Yeah.
But that whole thing, I fall and I can't get up.
I can't get up.
Real. That is for
Yeah.
real. And I got them that button that you push because it's for real.
Yeah, we got my mom an iWatch,
Yeah.
or phone, iWatch phone. What is it? iPhone watch.
Yeah. Yeah, so they can get help.
Mhm.
But
Just for that reason, because I thought, she's living in this big house by herself. And if anything happens, that's my nightmares that she
Right.
falls down
She
the
can't get
steps
the
and
phone.
she doesn't.
have
Yeah.
a phone, have access to get help. Yeah. So.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to go to this report that basically kind of talks about all the stuff that you can do, which is all the stuff you've been talking about, Dr. Keith. Really, it's all the stuff you've been talking about. But first of all, talk to your doctor about a bone density test. Everybody should do that. If you're postmenopausal, I think after age 45, you should do that. Ask for the test, right? And if you're taking, ask if you should take any meds, and again, based on the results of the test, right? And then exercise and body mechanics. And, Sid, you're very active. I'm very active. Actually, if you're very active, we're all walking and doing stuff. But clearly, weight-bearing activity prevents bone loss. So what is weight-bearing activity? Does that mean that yoga? Does yoga work for that? Pilates, like all the girl sports. I call them the girl sports.
What about biking?
Biking, with something that puts weight on your bones so the more there's compression on the bones, the harder they get and the stronger they get. So I row, and it's not as good as walking.
What about
but I am putting pressure when I row. I am pushing down, but it's better to have weight-bearing exercise.
Yeah. What about
Pickleball.
Strength training? Like, what does that mean? Oh, pickleball. Yeah. What about pickleball? Does pickleball count?
Pickleball.
I'm not there yet, y'all. Let's just say tennis. That's why I keep pushing this knee surgery off, because I know.
Tennis again is a weight bearing exercise.
Tennis is good. Yeah. But what about golf? We have a lot of black golfers out there.
Same thing. It's weight bearing. At
Okay,
least
walking, you got to walk.
Let me rephrase it. I said, if you don't use your cart.
Right. Walk, carry your stuff. Right?
Weight bearing is like, I'm gonna walk to the next. I'm gonna walk. But even, you're outdoors. You're getting sunlight.
You're getting vitamin D.
And no matter what, you gotta walk. You're walking.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to just break it down, because we have so many unhealthy people in our world, and like, what can they be doing to do better? So
What about paddleboard?
What about paddle?
But again, is it weight bearing? Well, the paddleboard,
yeah, because you're standing.
You're standing.
That's a workout.
And when I get tired, when my feet get tired, because my feet are bearing the weight of my body.
And you're kind of.
I go home. I sort of grip the board with your feet. Like, I go home when my feet are tired. That's how that's like my signal to go home. All right. Daily calcium intake. Okay. Daily calcium from food and supplements should equal 1,000 to 1,300 milligrams. Okay. What the hell does that mean? We don't understand what that means. So means,
that's it for your calcium a day.
Yeah, for your calcium a day. So 2 to 3 servings of dairy or calcium-rich food. So that could be cheese. Could that be my grilled cheese sandwich?
It could be your grilled cheese sandwich. But you know the direction I'm going. We talk about a Mediterranean diet. So
I can't have a grilled cheese. Well, so what do you eat for that?
No. Because I've moved more towards, green leafy vegetables. So
plant-based.
So broccoli, sprouts, mustard greens, kale. So I can get it. And then I do supplement.
Okay. What about spinach? I eat a lot of spinach.
And then you can also have your, fortified. You got your tofu, you got your soy milk, you have bok choy. There's a difference. It's not just sardines or salmon, but it's sardines and salmon in a can.
Really?
That's everything. My mom is lactose intolerant. Can't eat cheese, dairy, nothing like that. She loves sardines. She, just recently lost like 50 pounds. She weighs less than I do. And she eats salads is pretty much her whole diet, with a lot of different stuff. So, because I always wonder how she's getting her calcium, but everything you just mentioned is what she eats.
Because you can get from the beans. So once you go that more vegetarian route, then you're forced to have the beans. And so, does she know how to cook navy beans? Because I'm gonna have to come.
Oh yeah. Oh, we were. She makes a calico bean dish. It's kind of like a chili. Oh my God, she made it at Christmas. It was gone in a few hours.
I got sidetracked.
What about black eyed peas? I made my whole family the black eyed peas on New Year's.
But the bean content, legumes, and then you got your fortified juices, fortified breads and pizzas, nuts and almonds. I do a lot of
nuts and almonds.
Yes.
What kind of nuts besides almonds?
I have cashews and walnuts. I eat walnuts. And then if you know where Costco is, Costco gives you nice size bags. Don't go to those little tiny stores. The Costco.
So cashews are good, because I've always heard that they were like the fatty nut.
See what happens, but then what happens is, if you remove the fat, then they provide the good fat for you. But so when I look at it, I'm primarily the walnuts, and then I have some cashews, and I have pecans. And
so if you're eating a lot of other fat, you shouldn't eat cashews. But if you're just eating the cashews, and that's sort of your fat, that's okay. Is that what you're saying?
Because I cut out. Even plant-based. I'm kind of 100% plant-based. I may cheat a little bit, but I am 100%.
I can't give up chicken. I just can't.
Let me just say on DCTV, I'm sorry to make a plug, but we're about to have a whole series on eating plant-based. And our host, he cooked for us, and he made chicken nuggets out of tofu, you would never, ever know that they were tofu.
And
They
see,
were they were crunchy. He has made things that I'm just like, this is not, this, this chicken.
so let me ask you a question. So that now the question I have is this: is you know that tells you what we don't know what we eat when we eat chicken
Right.
nuggets.
Right.
That's just like, ooh, this tastes good. I said, whatever's fried tastes good. That's like in the
Doesn't
South,
matter what it is.
they have fried butter. I was like, fried butter. Taste it? I said, I'm not gonna taste it. But still,
Fried butter.
fried butter. Ricky, well, I'm from Texas, so we do, they fry up a whole pickles, fried butter, fried ice cream,
Oreos.
Was
everything.
it breaded or something? I know. Well,
Yeah,
I use a lot of butter to cook, and that counts as my dairy because I cook with butter. I'm sorry.
And then there's things that we have to read about, and this is where what's important is that we're giving everyone information so they go back and read and we talk about it. And gut flora, I flagged that because it's going to be important as we move forward to understand how gut flora impacts our bone health.
What is that? What is
I
gut?
don't even know what that is.
See, so inside your GI tract, your intestines, you have bacteria.
Mm.
And there's a balance in bacteria. So when you eat certain foods, it changes your gut flora.
Mm.
Play a role in digestion,
Okay.
and absorption, and a healthy gut. So everybody heard about healthy gut then. So this is what
Yeah.
they're talking.
So I don't have a gallbladder, so I know all about.
Yeah. And so now you since you don't have a gallbladder, then you understand the impact of the type
I
of
know.
So
I know what
probiotics?
foods move through your body quickly and what are,
Right.
slow.
What are probiotics? Because that's like a rage thing too, to drink probiotics and stuff.
And the objective is to kind of improve the growth of your gut flora. You want to have the appropriate bacteria in your gut because that influences health. It also influences depending on there are reports out there as it relates to the progression of cancer, depending on gut flora. So there's a lot of things. And remember, because this is what's important. If we go back just 100 years, 50, and for the, a lot of folks, we were getting natural stuff. Go to the store and, got your beans. We weren't going to the store and had access to all these foods and sweets and candies and pies and stuff can sit on the shelf for several years. At our fingertips, we were eating fresh food. Now all of a sudden we change because we're being marketed products about how they look, but not really the nutritional value.
They do for you nutritionally.
So that's, to me, that's extremely important. And then there's one thing I always want to flag, because you won't hear it here. You won't hear it out there in the United States, that COVID is going to already know that if you have COVID, you may not, you're not going to die. You're vaccinated, you're not going to die, but your objective is to make sure you don't get infected, because they haven't begun to publish information about the increased incidence of osteoporosis. So what do we know? Women, twice as likely to develop osteoporosis than men. Black women suffer the most. Now we have this chronic infection where that may change this whole paradigm. And now you have more osteoporosis developed in people who are infected. We already know that what happens with women twice as much when we talk about long haulers disease. And then we look at Black women suffer long haulers disease worse than that of white women.
I didn't know that. Why do we always get things so much worse? It's like from breast cancer, we die more. Is it access, or is it, to healthcare?
This is why even this segment and Love Your Bones is important. Early detection screening. We always get stuff late.
We don't do it because we're too busy. We don't take care of ourselves. We need to be screening. All right, so let me finish my list here. Vitamin D, and we've talked a lot about vitamins.
Right.
get the sun, lactose intolerance, all the things. So what are some foods we can eat for vitamin D? Like
That's
same
a
with vegetables?
You got to supplement it with something over the counter at
Take a
at
pill,
your
take a pill, take a pill. All right, take
Yeah.
a pill.
and,
I take supplement. My
Yeah.
whole family takes vitamin D.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so now look, so this is very important.
He's a
And
vitamin D guru.
see, this is important when it comes to Black people. Why is it that something that impacts Black people isn't on the tips of everybody's lips?
Mm.
You generate vitamin D, your body does.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, 100 years ago, we didn't stay inside a lot.
We were in the sun.
We out in the sun.
Right.
Evolutionarily, our bodies are designed to absorb and
Mhm.
generate and need sunlight to generate vitamin D. Now we're inside. We don't get enough sun. For the past 3 years, coming up 3 years,
Right,
been indoors.
right.
And then now let's look at this. Did you know that again, what they'll say is, well, there's not any studies that directly show how vitamin D impacts the incidence of cancer. Sometimes if it looks like a duck, and then you throw a quack in there, I'm just like,
Well, let me just say, I watched this one get her, natural vitamin D every day, and I really do think that's why you are, a survivor of breast cancer, because of that natural sun that you get plus the exercise.
Mhm.
But
and now Ricky, when was your last test? What was your vitamin D level?
I don't know. I need to check it. I'm due for my cancer blood work next month. And that's when I'll get it checked, because it's funny because, I go to an endocrinologist for my Graves' disease, and she doesn't check my vitamin levels. Like, I just had blood work this week. I went on Monday, and I asked her, no, I'm not gonna. She checks my TSH score. She checks my thyroid numbers, but she won't check anything else. I mean, these doctors are so compartmentalized. So I really have to go. Actually, my cancer doctor checks for my vitamin levels. So I go next week.
That's going to be important.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
important
yeah.
for
Because I don't even know what it is from last year.
the majority of Black folks in the United States are vitamin D deficient.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm not. I never have been, but I'm out there in the sun when the sun's rising,
right,
in the heat and the peak.
Yeah,
because
I
vitamin D also correlate to depression, the lack of.
depression, the lack of it decreases your immune response. It plays a role, significant role. I mean, it's not a 1-for-1. So our bodies are, the way I look at our bodies is it works like an orchestra.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you throw the conductor off a little bit, then we can play together, but something's off. And the same thing, if we're missing that vitamin D, so Ricky will tell you, when COVID broke out, so my background is emerging infectious disease, also bone health, and I'm a PhD in immunology. So when COVID broke out, I did a Facebook Live promotion for an hour to tell everyone, this is what to expect. 1, good nasal and good oral hygiene, gargling, vitamin D,
You got me gargling.
Yeah, N-acetylcysteine, vitamin D, because this is how you optimize it. And then I let everyone in the United States know that if you have cancer or a cancer survivor, you're at risk for COVID versus the general population. And so that message is out there. That's a message that we've consistently tried to push, that everybody needs to understand it, because there are things that are specific to Black people. The NIH has already published in 2018, had a panel of doctors that talked about the problem with vitamin D deficiency in Black people.
So we got to do it. So get your vitamin D, people. Get your vitamin D.
And
How
when
many milligrams do you take?
when you have your physical, ask your doctor about your vitamin D level.
Mhm.
And then don't just ask, well, it was normal. I said, was it low normal? Was it medium normal? Or was it high normal? Because what they'll say, what will happen is it was normal. It fell between these ranges. We need to be in just
High end. Yeah.
because you
All right,
can't
so one
really
dose.
get a hypervitaminosis with vitamin D but it can be high. You may have to decrease a little bit,
Mhm.
but the majority of people are already deficient.
Right.
All right, so check that. All right, next thing is quit smoking. Quit smoking. Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. Limit your alcohol. I know we all want to drink,
1.5 glasses a day.
1.5 glasses a day.
Okay, 1.5 glasses a day. I'm trying to think how many I usually drink in a week. Okay, I'm good. I'm less than that. I'm less than that.
You're good. You're good. I know. Have you written about
so those people that have 2 glasses, I said, ladies 1.5 and men 2.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get the McBride sisters on the show. Do you know them? Have you heard of them now? They have this new wine called Black Girl Magic.
Oh yeah. Oh, I drink that. That's what I drink all the time.
Two sisters grew up in different parts of the world. I think one in Australia, one in California, and they didn't know each other till they were adults. And they both were making wine, and they came together to make that. And that's so cool.
They both made wine
independently, and then they realized they were. I don't know the whole story, but they got together and they're real sisters. And now they're.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna try to get.
I didn't know that, but I drink that all the time.
Because I heard about it and I said I've been waiting. So now you have a contact, Ricky.
I'm gonna hook this up.
Sponsored by Black Girl Wines. 1.5 glasses a day keeps the doctor.
There you go.
Stay in your limit, right? And then the last thing is make your home safe. And we talked about that with his mom with the rugs. And I took up all the throw rugs in my parents' house, and even in my house, I don't have any rugs because I'm like accident prone. I'm not ready to fall. So, so I think we have some good tips. I mean, I think at the end of the day, get a bone scan, get a bone scan, get a bone scan. Do this thing, AmericanBoneHealth.com.org. I will put that in the comments so you can click and do the same survey that Sid and I did and assess your risk. And then if it says you need a bone scan, it's probably going to say that. Make it happen and do it for your parents.
Yes.
Sisters. My sister's broken both of her shoulders in the past 2 years.
And just falling, and
I've been trying to get her to do a bone scan. I'm gonna have to go to take her to the doctor to make her do it. So, because we just don't do the right thing by ourselves.
I'm about to go and run and see a friend that just had surgery yesterday who fell and broke his kneecap. Yeah, 58.
That sounds really painful.
Yeah.
So then, we might have to check that bone health too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it? We got risk factors that we can't change.
Right.
And women.
Right.
Postmenopausal women.
Right.
With body weight less than 127 pounds or small bone frame. So, because that whole phrase when you in the country, it's like, oh, they big boned. So people that are big boned still can suffer from osteoporosis.
Yeah.
Okay. Family history, issues with minor falls and fractures. Are you taking drugs for asthma or epilepsy? Then remember that during COVID, we were kind of immobilized. And then, Ricky, we talked about thyroid medicines. So
yeah, I'm taking them. I take Synthroid. I don't have a thyroid. I had mine taken out. So, and that was one of the things the checklist for. Do you take thyroid meds? So that's what I think made my number go up.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so I flagged that because there's treatment, there's breast cancer. The cancer itself can cause osteoporosis. The treatment can cause osteoporosis, and the secondary treatment can cause osteoporosis. And then, also eating disorders, chronic diarrhea, kidney disease, liver. But the thing about it is everyone needs to understand what are the things that we can control.
Right. And we can control walking. We can control eating kale. We can control
That's your calcium.
taking vitamin D, you know,
Vitamin D.
and we can control drinking and smoking and moving rugs. A lot of stuff we can control.
Control cigarette smoking, we can surely control.
Not like cancer where you can't control, you know, like breast cancer, but we can control it. So.
Alcohol content.
Yep, alcohol and smoking can all be controlled. So.
And then let's go to our diet.
Yep.
Okay. And then there's that whole issue about the ingestion of caffeine.
Oh, really? That's not on the list. So tell me about that.
It goes back into your diet. And then and so is it the fact that we don't, how research is done is what do you want to find out? If you have a group of people, Black people who are lactose intolerant, who drink a lot of caffeine, well, you know, is it related to the caffeine, or is it related to the fact that you don't ingest a lot of calcium? So it's important to go back to that diet component.
Well, I drink probably 2 cups of tea a day or more.
Oh,
yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker.
Not a coffee drinker, but I have caffeine in my tea. I mean, I drink maybe 1 cup of decaf tea and 2 caffeinated teas a day. But all right, that's a, you know, caffeine's another topic.
Caffeine is,
Caffeine's a good topic for us, Dr. Keith. Let's hold that thought. All right, so
we'll put it on our list.
On our list for another show. But thank you, Sid.
And I know the title of it is sugar. So sugar, salt, caffeine.
All right. All right. That's another show. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Don't bring me on the sugar show, because I have a little bit of a sweet.
Yeah, you.
No, we are. So
especially since COVID.
What's your specialty? Sweet potato pie?
Oh yes, I actually just won a sweet potato pie contest amongst friends. But yes, sweet potato pie.
Peach cobbler?
No,
I can make
that's Ricky.
So okay, I have.
But I did just make a French toast casserole.
Hey, stop! See, you didn't. See.
All right, so that may have to be a live show, Dr. Keith.
We'll have a little cooking show.
Okay, because I'm throwing in there that I'll gather research throughout the year about being gluten-free. So gluten and your gut flora.
All right.
That French toasted casserole, we have to have some gluten-free.
We can talk about that. I actually did make a gluten-free peach cobbler for Shavana, and she thought it was delicious. But
did anybody else think it was delicious? Or just...
Oh no! If you cook the roux, if you got the good roux and some nutmeg in there, don't tell me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Sid. I love you, Dr. Keith. I love you, Sid.
Hi, it was
We're
nice.
back for Love Your Bones on February 5th. Join us in a month, and we will have more fun and more great information. And stay healthy and love your bones.
And now, you know what we need to do? The next one is what's going to be our challenge, our bone health challenge.
Our bone health challenge. Okay, we'll give a bone health challenge next time. Well, this time, everybody go get your vitamin D. That's all. That's our challenge for the week. Make sure you got your vitamin D today. All right.
Yes, when you do your physical, you know what that is.
And do the bone health calculator. We'll put it in the comments.
And where you can get that.
That brace. Okay, so we'll get the brace. Matter of fact, it might be Love Your Bones brace. We may have.
We may brand our own. We may brand
our own.
I can model it for you.
Okay. Okay.
See, I was like, look at
All right. Take care, everyone. Love you.
Nice seeing you.
Bye.
Bye, Ricky.
Bye.
Bye.